Hi everyone, Mike Ferris here, and sorry I was gone last week. My sister had her baby, so I was unable to make a Asperger's video. But I am back now with a new topic, and today I will be discussing Asperger's and relationships, dating, and all of that, all the different aspects of the challenges and the advantages and all that sort of thing. I must tell you now that this is from a guy's point of view. I am not a girl. I don't know what it's like to be a woman with Asperger's, so I can't speak for you. I can't speak to that because it's not my experience. I can only share my experiences. But if you are a woman with Asperger's and you'd like to share your story, please, you are more than welcome to share your story with us. We'd be glad to have it on here. But this is from a male's perspective, so hope you guys find some use out of this. Okay, well, let's get the bad stuff out of the way first. If you have Asperger's, relationships are a lot more challenging. Getting into a relationship can be a challenge. Why? Well, for one, women don't like insecurity. It's one of the biggest turnoffs. And guess what? Asperger's can make us tense. Having Asperger's can cause tension, uncontrollable tension that you don't that you're stuck with, and that can be mistaken as insecurity. So that's a disadvantage. That makes getting a relationship very, very difficult. Another problem is let's say you were to get past that hurdle and be in a relationship. It is very difficult to. It can be very difficult to show um, emotion, to show that you care, even though you desperately do. There are moments where your girl or is going to want to be comforted, and you may not be good at it because of your Asperger's. Even though you might seem apathetic, which might hurt her, and you don't want to do that to her. I know you don't, and and that's something that I hate about myself is that I wish that I was better at comforting people. I really do, and instead I find myself not knowing what to say, trying to find the right words, and stumbling and not helping at all. So yeah, that's another horrible disadvantage. It's probably the worst one, at least for me, from my experience. I envy people who can comfort others. I really do. Okay, another issue is rage. We autistic fits. Those can be scary because if a woman sees one of your fits, she might think that you might hurt her or might be thinking about it, even though she is completely safe and you wouldn't hurt anybody because of your autistic fits. You might scare them. So that's another challenge. So yeah, and not and it, dating with Asperger's is not an easy thing. Even getting into a date is really really difficult. I had my first kiss in 1996 and didn't have my second until 2007, and that was from a drunk person who only liked me when she was drunk. So that's how long it took me between my first and second kiss. That should give you an idea of how difficult it can be. But the good news is it's not impossible. I know. I've been there. I've actually been in a few relationships. Um, and I gotta say, there is a trait in Asperger's and autism that can be a turn on for women. Your obsession. She might see that as dedication, as a passion for something. So if you've got something that you're passionate about and you work so hard at it, she's going to be turned on by that. She's going to love that about you because it shows that you have ambition and drive. And that's an advantage. And ladies, if you're watching this and you're thinking, and there's a guy who was Asperger's who likes you, and you're trying to think about it, whether or not you like him back or whatever, um, if you're struggling with his tension, try to look at the glass as half full and instead focus on his drive, his passion, the fact that he's dedicated. Um, that that'll seeing the glass as half full will help a long way. Now, guys, there are things that we can do to make things easier for those of us that we are dating who don't understand. For example, if you are going to throw an autistic fit, do it someplace else. Go outside, go somewhere, so that she doesn't have to see that, so you don't scare her. That'll help with that. Also, you might appear tense, but you can still act against it, which is difficult. It is very, very difficult to pull off, but it is possible to do. So if you're feeling tense, it doesn't mean you have to act that way. You just gotta get up and do something. So that'll help. That should help with that. It's very difficult, but it's not impossible. The only issue I can see is, again, the comforting thing. That can be very, very difficult. I wish I knew what to do there because I'm struggling with it. If anybody knows what to do about that, tell me. I very much would like to hear some. I really need help with that. That's the biggest thing I need the most help on. I think for myself. But yeah. Basically, we need to overall. What I'm trying to say is we need to understand each other. You know, you need to understand what your girl or spouse or whoever's going through, and they need to understand what you're going through. And communication and knowledge, research, all of that, all of it plays a vital role in on this issue. So the bad news is it's very difficult. Relationships are much more difficult with Asperger's, but the good news is it's not impossible. So I hope that encourages any guys out there who is struggling with relationships. You may have to wait many, many years, but eventually love will find you. Even if it's only temporary, it doesn't last forever, it will eventually find you at some point. Now it's time for a little rant, because I watched a video about nerd perception, about how women perceive nerdy guys, and one of the things the thing that bothered me was the whole on the spectrum mentality. And when they mean spectrum, you know they mean talking about autism in some way. So if a woman, there are people out there who are like, I won't date this person because they're on the spectrum. So because they have autism, you're just going to shut them off, or turn off because of that? You shallow snob. If that's you right now, you're a snob. Now, and if you get mad at me about this, that means it's you, because I did not point you out. I did not mention you by name. I don't know who's listening and who's not. So if you're offended by my last statement, that means it's you. Don't be judging on us, alright? And just because we seem tense doesn't necessarily mean we're insecure. It's our Asperger's, and if you're going to judge us for it, shame on you. You're a shallow snob, and I don't want to be with you anyway. Okay, well, that's pretty much all I got to say about it. Like I said, if you're a woman with Asperger's and you want to share your experiences, please, by all means, do so. And I hope I helped somebody today, and I hope that someone can help me, especially with the comforting issue, because I don't have any answers to that. But when it comes to things like attention, the best thing we could do, guys, once again, is just don't act on it. Do something brave anyway, no matter how terrified you are. And the more you do it, the easier it'll get. And for our rages, our autistic fits, do them privately. I know that we cannot, control them, but we can control where we have to. If we have to let it out there, we don't have to do it around her. Because we don't want to scare her. We're not going to hurt her. We're like I said, ladies, we love you. We're harmless. You might have to get used to us and how we think, but also, guys, we need to understand them, and we need to understand each other. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. So, again, don't be scared of our fits. Guys, do our fits someplace privately. If you're feeling tense, I don't care how scared you are, do something scary anyway. Go ahead and just don't act on your tension. It'll take some time, and you might not get it perfectly, but it's something. And ladies, try to look at the glass as half full. Look at our passion, our obsession, and look at that as ambition and drive, rather than our attention. and that will, on our attention, because that will go a long way. And like I said, and of course the whole comforting issue. Please help me with that, please, please, please. Anyways, that's all I got to say about this. Hope you enjoyed this video. Next time I will be talking about Asperger's in relation to job hunting, and working in general. So stay tuned for that. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you next time.